Hello, my name is James Bell and this is Album 101. Well, welcome back to my studio, everyone. Hope you're doing okay. It's been a while. Now, a few days ago, I received a very exciting package through the post. I had originally pre-ordered this said album in the package in July, and it was meant to come in September. It had got delayed until October and then to the end of November. And I'm happy to say it has finally come. It is Taylor Swift's new album for this year. It's Folklore. And I was intrigued by this album because of its lovely artwork and the music video released for the song Cardigan. I bought the cassette edition so I could play it on my hi-fi stereo. I've always liked Taylor Swift, but hearing about this album, I just had to buy a copy for myself and see what it was all about. The first thing I really like about the album is the artwork itself. There are, I think there's 8 variations of the artwork, and this one is called In the Trees, and I love it. They all draw you in. I love this one, so you can see Taylor Swift is standing in the trees, and yeah, it's very atmospheric. So if we have a look at the packaging a little bit more closely, so open it, so you can see the cassette here. It's a nice cassette, and I must say as well, I don't know if you can see, but the fonts are quite similar to the fonts that Kate Bush used on Hounds of Love, which was the last album review I did. Something I noticed, it's very interesting. And we can have a look at this in the clear case. So we can see we have the front cover and we have another picture of Taylor. We have quite a few different ones. That one, interestingly, is in colour. The rest are in black and white. It's all very atmospheric. I love all these photos. I think they're really... They've just got such a natural charm about them, a really vintage natural charm, and I really like them. I think it's just great photography. And yeah, it's just, it just really draws you in, and yeah, just all the photography is such an asset to the album. Great. It's just great. And also, this cassette colour is a lovely duck egg blue colour. It's a very soothing colour, and I think it was important they chose a good colour for the cassette to really reflect the nature of the album, and I think this sort of light blue, sort of duck egg blue colour was a good choice to go with, definitely. The album was produced by Aaron Dessner, Jack Antonoff and Taylor Swift herself. It's actually an album and a half. The total running time is over 60 minutes, almost 70 with the bonus track, The Lakes. And so for a 20-minute review, well, I try to aim for 20 minutes. Sometimes it's over, sometimes it's under. I can't fit all the songs in one review, so I'm really sorry if I skip over your favourite song of this album. But I hope to those watching who haven't yet listened to this album that you can give the album a listen after this review and see what you think. There's so much to talk about in this album, so without further ado, let's get started. The first track is The One, and it's a very catchy opening track, and it really draws you in. And it has the idea of looking back at past loves and wondering what if they were the one and what if things could be different, and also wondering what they're doing now. It's a very sort of reminiscent track, but at the same time it's still got that upbeat feel about it. And then we get Cardigan, which this was the song I initially saw the music video for. And it has the best reoccurring lyric, I think. When you are young, they assume you know nothing. That's a very powerful statement to make. And the cardigan is an interesting metaphorical noun to use to represent being close and personal to someone. I like the references to Peter Pan and Wendy to symbolise not being able to stay together. I thought that was quite a good novel reference to use. And in the pop video, Taylor climbs into various scenes through an upright piano, and it's very clever. I thought it was really cool how she ends up in a storm on the sea. I thought it was really cool. And the ending, I thought it was a really nice ending too. It sounds like reverse samples. I don't know if they're samples from that particular song. It's a very effective fade out, I thought. The last great American dynasty is Taylor's telling of Rebecca Harkness's life story. Rebecca had previously lived in Taylor's house on Rhode Island, which is called Holiday House, and was a patron for the arts, but also faced criticism, mainly for her eccentricities. I love the picture Taylor paints of these champagne parties and scandals that were meant to have happened that shocked the locals. It's written as if this was all gossip, you know. And I love how Rebecca was meant to have dyed her neighbour's dog green. I think that's one of the best sort of tidbits of gossip in there. Taylor also references Salvador Dali, the painter who Rebecca allegedly lost money to through playing cards. He painted one of my favourite pictures, actually, The Persistence of Memory, which features those melting clocks, of course. Taylor also draws comparison to herself with Rebecca as the new owner of Holiday House, and how, like Rebecca, she has had, and I quote Taylor here, has had a marvellous time ruining everything. Exile features the lead singer from the folk band Bon Iver, Justin Vernon, and it is fraught with disagreement in an emotional breakup. So Justin will sing one thing and Taylor will disagree with him. And Taylor's great at writing metaphors, and I love this one. I think I've seen this film before, and I didn't like the ending. It's just beautiful. Mirrorball has brilliant production values. The vocals are pushed further back in the mix and are much more reverberant than what you would expect. It sounds like the perfect summer dream, and I love the lyrics. Basically, if disco balls could talk, but much more than that. I want you to know I am a mirror ball. I'll show you every version of yourself tonight. I'll get you out on the floor, shimmering beautiful, and when I break, it's in a million pieces. 7 reminds me of Christine McVie's songwriting for Fleetwood Mac. Compare it to songs such as Love Shines, it has that quality, I feel. There's another very powerful metaphor that Taylor uses here, the idea of a house being haunted not by ghosts but by people, and the need to escape a life of abuse. And I've been meaning to tell you, I think your house is haunted. Your dad is always mad, and that must be why. I think you should come and live with me, and we can be pirates. Then you won't have to cry. August has got that idealistic summer sound, but the lyrics are very bittersweet, signifying that the rose-tinted production values is hiding those inner turmoils. But I can see us lost in the memory. August slipped away into a moment in time, 'cause it was never mine. And I can see us twisted in bedsheets. August slipped away like a bottle of wine, because you were never mine. Taylor is incredibly smart with her lyrics, and she draws out strong themes of sexism and judgment. I've got to say I was very impressed with her previous song, The Man, on her album Lover. Mad Woman continues those themes even more angry than before. Taylor isn't afraid to remind everyone that behind the artist and musician is a person with emotions. Epiphany has beautiful tour de force moments with the slowly building strings and pad synths. Very atmospheric. Taylor Swift isn't afraid to take a slower approach to her music, which I really respect. It isn't rushed at all. It heightens the emotion and drama of the album and reinforces Taylor's lyrical content too. In this song, she draws comparison between the Second World War and the current pandemic, and it's very powerful. I love the American country feel of Betty with the harmonica. It's very catchy with some interesting lyrics, again, reflecting the idea of teenage heartbreak. And it's actually, the writing style is actually very similar to Rainbow Rowell, and I love Rainbow Rowell. I think her books are brilliant. What I think is very clever is that Cardigan, August and Betty are all about the same three people, which Taylor has called James, Betty and Inez, and their relationships with each other. So I like how there's a concept in this album. And finally we get to the bonus song, The Lakes. I love the string sounds. It reminds me very much of a mellotron, which is this keyboard instrument with these tape decks underneath, and they trigger these samples. And you can have different sounds, and there is a string sound, and there's also a flute sound, which was used on songs like Strawberry Fields Forever by the Beatles. I love the dramatic sound of the orchestration in the lakes with those lyrics. Take me to the lakes where all the poets went to die. I don't belong, and my beloved, neither do you. Those Windermere peaks look like a perfect place to cry. I'm setting off, but not without my muse. I love how it holds the Lake District as an ideal place for releasing inner emotions. The Lake District is a beautiful part of the world. The idea that a poet would want to die in a beautiful place feeling they don't belong anywhere else. It's incredibly sad. I think it's my favourite track on the album. It's just such a overwhelmingly beautiful track. I love it. So that was my review for Taylor Swift's Folklore. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. And I know that Taylor has also produced a documentary on the making of Folklore. I haven't watched it myself yet. My sisters were telling me about it, and I believe it's on Disney Plus, so worth checking out if you've got a subscription to that. I'll be back again on my YouTube channel very soon with another album review. I've also got my radio show Curtain Up on again this Sunday at 7 PM, so please tune in to that on Radio Tyneside. I've also got my Christmas special for Curtain Up, which is going to be broadcasting on the 29th of December, that's a Tuesday, and it's on 10 PM in the evening. So I'll try to remind you all about that closer to the time. So until the next time here on my YouTube channel, have a fantastic week. Bye for now, everyone. Look who's back in the studio, it's Tina. She's on the piano stool, wanting a bit of fuss, yes. Oh, Tina. Yes, it's the camera. Tina would like you to subscribe to my channel. Yes, you would, wouldn't you? Yes. Tina.